As I'm recording this, we are in the midst of the 2-week waiting period for the final results for IVF round 4. The 2 embryos that have survived to this point are currently undergoing genetic testing. And in the coming days, Emily will be getting a call from the IVF clinic with the findings of those tests. As we've been waiting, I have had a lot of time to think, and I thought a lot about the pregnancy process as a whole. And it's hit me just how much time I have spent obsessing about the past or stressing about the future. So here, I would like to discuss a realization that I had that has really served as a reminder for me to be more present. This call from the IVF clinic, whenever it comes, and these results, whatever they may be, are going to be a huge deal, obviously. When Emily's phone rings, it's going to be one of those big moments in our lives, one of those forks in the road. Because if we find out that there's at least one healthy embryo, our next steps, not to mention our emotions, are going to head in one direction. And if we find out that there's not, everything will go in a different direction. With such a big moment looming, it's easy to kind of shut down, to just go into a shell and think about nothing else and do nothing else. But for as tempting as it is to just sort of hang out in this holding pattern, the reality is that you can never really put your life on hold. When I think about the big picture of my life, I naturally think about the big moments in my life. That moment when I first introduced myself to Emily on our first date. That moment at our wedding when I said I do. These moments have been incredibly important. They are the tent poles, the anchors around which my life has been built. But if you look at them from another perspective, you'll see that they're just moments. They're just these singular points in time. And when you think about it, these moments only make up a tiny, tiny fraction of our entire lives. What makes up the majority, the overwhelming majority of our lives is what happens between these moments. I look at the process that Emily and I have been going through to have a child, which started back in the summer of 2016. All the diagnoses and the test results and the egg retrievals and the implantations. There's unfortunately been a decent amount of these defining moments, or at least the wrong kind of defining moments. But what about the rest of the time? That's almost 3 years of our lives. And unfortunately, I have spent far too much of that either stressed about the previous moments that didn't go our way, or stressed about the moments that were still to come that might not go our way. I've gotten so wrapped up in what does this diagnosis mean? And oh, this happened last time, so it's definitely going to happen this time. And what treatment comes next? And what doctor do we see after that? It's like my mind has been on this endless set of monkey bars, just trying to get from one rung to the next and to the next and to the next. And as I look back now at all the worrying and agonizing and analyzing and anticipating that I've done, and at all the time that I've spent in this make-believe world of my fears and imagination, I can't help asking myself, at what cost? At what cost have I done all of this? Do I want to spend my life in this perpetual state of thinking about and being tormented by the past and the future? Or do I want to be more present? This is a choice that we're all faced with, no matter what our circumstances are. And I think we all know what the right answer is, but it's a hard decision to make because it almost goes against our nature. But the reality is that where we are right here, right now, is not only the only thing that is guaranteed, but in terms of moving forward, it's the only thing that's real. Yes, any minute now, Emily's phone is going to ring with the IVF results. And the thought of that is terrifying and anxiety-inducing and at times can feel completely overwhelming. But in the meantime, until that call comes, I would like to find at least one thing to do each day that will snap me out of this unhealthy pattern, that will help me to stop looking ahead and looking back, and instead just focus on what is right in front of me and what is all around me. Today I've actually found 3 of those activities. One, I am recording this video, which takes all of my attention and all of my effort, and which I would classify as meaningful work. Second, tonight Emily and I are going out with friends, and it is always great to spend time with loved ones. And lastly, if I can get lucky to not find out the score while we're out, and that is a big if, at the end of the night I'm going to come home and watch a recording of the Houston Rockets playoff game. And my hope is that by doing these things today and doing something else tomorrow, I'll be able to obsess a little less about the moment that is coming, and I'll be able to appreciate a little more the moment at hand.